So here's a very simple tab song, Auld Lang Syne. Everybody knows that. New Year's, you hear it. Um, and we're utilizing strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first line of tab here is the thinnest string. The bottom line of tab here is the thickest string. Um, this is your traditional music notation here, which gives you things like shows you it's 4/4 time. It shows you the key that it's in. In this case, it's in the key of G. Um, gives you the different quarter notes, eighth notes, dotted quarter note, which gets a beat and a half. Learning that rhythm is is really important on songs you don't know. If it's a song that you do know and recognize and can hear it in your head or listen to it on a recording and kind of get that ingrained in it, it's a lot easier to learn the song. This, the rhythm part, I would say get the basic reading tab down first and then tackle the more, get in depth into the rhythm. That's kind of a whole nother subject that requires quite a bit of doing. So at the stage we're at right here, we're going to try to learn a very basic song with some very basic tab. The tab can include things like bends and pull-offs and hammer-ons and slides and trills and all kinds of things, but that's great down the road. First, we want to learn how to walk before we run. So again, if you go by the prior video and kind of assign fingers of your left hand, your fretting hand, to each number. For instance, here you're playing a 4 on the 4th string, 4th fret on the 4th string. Can utilize your pinky as the 4th. If you're not comfortable with doing that, you can use your ring finger. But the more you can stick with 4 being your pinky, 2 being your middle finger, 3 being your ring, 1 being your index finger, it's going to make the song a little easier to learn. It's going to make some consistency in where your fingers go and what they do, so you're not doing it one way one time and a different way the next time, and getting your fingers confused of where they're going and when they're going there. So if you stick with a pattern like this that assigns each finger to a specific fret, it makes playing tab easier. So try to get in the habit of doing that. But in this we'll call this the first measure. That is the first note of the first measure. There's a big rest here, so it's just starting there. But try to memorize the first measure part of it here and visualize in your mind what you need to do. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 open string notes and 1 fretted note. So that's pretty simple. Use your pinky on that 4th if you can. And you've got the start of this, the open D string, the open G string, the fretted 4th on the D string, the G and the B. And just play that over and over. And you can hear Auld Lang Syne in that. just going to keep playing that over and over till you get that down. You want to be able to just pick up the guitar and play that first measure. So I've made some mistakes there, and that being the case, you just want to slow it down and make sure you're getting the right notes with the right fingers. And not get rushed, but learn that first measure. When you're comfortable with that, you move on to the next measure. And you look at it and you kind of visualize. It's very important to look and visualize. Think in your head, what finger, okay, I'm going to be using my second finger, which in this case is my middle finger, and it's going to be on the third string, 1, 2, 3, third string, which is the G string, and I'm going to play it, then I'm going to play it open, and then I'm going to put that finger back down again. So we can kind of visualize that and then play it. And if you make mistakes, slow it down. So there I'm playing all the 5 notes. Then put the two together, the first measure and the second measure. Again, look at it, visualize what you need to do. Think about it for a minute. And kind of get that down, and just piece by piece start adding it. I always like to try to memorize these notes in a song, because playing off of tab, it's great to have it in front of you, but it's hard to keep your eyes on the tab and keep your eyes on the fretboard, and then look back up to the tab and go, all right, where was I? So it's good to memorize and really get out the first measure. And as you go, things will get easier. In a lot of cases, things in a song will repeat. If you can see here, but this, like for instance, this measure is the same as this measure. It's repeated. So by memorizing this, you're also memorizing that. And when you look, the next time you look, you go, oh, I already know that. I can play it because I've memorized the first time it came around. And here it is again. So it's actually in 3 different places. That same measure, 3 different places. So if you can memorize each little measure, and it may take you, who knows, how long to memorize just the first 2 measures, that's okay. Every day you sit down, you look, you go, okay, I know this part, and move on. And add a little bit more and a little bit more, so that you can eventually play the entire tune without even having to look at the lead sheet. So give that a try with your finger picking or using a pick. I'll see if I can get you a copy of this